Good evening, viewers. Today we are diving into a critical story that's affecting the daily flow of goods into the United States. It's something that might impact everything from prices of your groceries to your car parts. It's the biggest Dockworkers strike in nearly 50 years that we are talking about. It has entered its third day, bringing the supply chain to a grinding halt at some of the country's most important ports along the east and the Gulf coasts. Let's break this down. At the center of the strike are 45,000 workers from the International Longshoremen Association, or ILA for short. These workers are responsible for loading and unloading goods at the ports, stretching from Maine to Texas. They are striking because the contract negotiation between the union and the US Maritime Alliance, which represents the port employers, fell apart. The striking point? Well, it's a significant pay increase and halting the automation of port operations, which the workers fear could lead to job losses. Right now, we have got at least 45 ships, container vessels, stacked high with goods like bananas, car parts, electronics, and more, waiting off the coast. These ships can't dock, they can't unload, or even move on to their destination. Experts are warning that this backlog could double by the end of this week, which would create a serious bottleneck in getting goods to where they are needed. Here's a little bit of context. We haven't seen a strike like this, of this magnitude, since 1977, when the last major ILA work stoppage happened. That strike lasted nearly 2 months and caused a similar chaos. Ultimately, it was resolved through a combination of intense negotiations and federal involvement. However, this time around, the Biden administration has made it very clear it's not planning to step in the federal powers to stop the strike, despite pressure from the business groups. So, where do the things stand now? Well, the employers have offered a 50% pay increase to the workers, but the union says it's not enough. They're asking for guarantees that automation, think machines, and software that would replace human jobs won't be implemented in a way that threatens their livelihood. And while employers have signaled that they are willing to return to the negotiation table, no new talks have been scheduled as of yet. Now, if you're wondering how this could impact you, well, here's the reality. Right now, analysts say the strike isn't likely to drive up prices overnight because many companies saw this coming and stocked up on goods in advance. But if this does drag on, we could see shortages of certain items and rising prices, particularly for food. The National Retail Federation and other major trade groups are already worrying of devastating consequences for the economy if a deal isn't reached soon. It's worth noting that this strike doesn't affect the consumer goods. The Gulf Coast ports, particularly in Houston and New Orleans, are vital for exporting crude oil, natural gas, and agricultural products. Meanwhile, East Coast ports handle about a third of the country's automotive imports and exports. So you can imagine the kind of ripple effect this would create across different sectors of the economy. Historically, strikes like this have often ended in a compromise, but only after intense pressure mounts on both sides. In 1977, it took months of negotiations and political involvement to resolve the conflict. Whether we'll see a similar timeline here remains to be seen. The Biden administration has backed the union, pushing port employers to increase their pay offer. But the administration has also said they won't invoke federal powers to halt the strike, which would effectively force the workers back on the job. It's a delicate situation and both sides are holding firm. Thank you for watching.